The craziest conspiracies in NBA history. Shout out to Nonstop for the video. I'm sure they put in crazy effort into this shit. Let's do it.
NBA Draft Lottery. The NBA Draft Lottery is meant to be one of the most random events in all of sports, as its name alludes to. But that may not have always been the case. Heading into the 1985 draft, there was a consensus #1 overall pick in Patrick Ewing. The big man out of Georgetown was billed as the league's next superstar, with the ability to carry the weight of a franchise on his broad shoulders. Back then, one envelope for each team in the lottery was placed in a transparent ball, and NBA Commissioner David Stern would pick them out. There are two leading theories to how Stern went about rigging this. The first involves a creased corner on the Knicks envelope, and the second is that the Knicks one was frozen ahead of time. Either ploy would have very subtly let Stern know which envelope belonged to New York.
I deadass believe this, by the way. Not gonna lie, I deadass believe this. Do you remember, like, there's a story, bro, with Shaq. They're talking to Shaq, and they're like, David Stern was like, bro, do you like it in hot or cold weather? Like, if it's a lie, Shaq told it. Like, bro, do you like it when it's hot or cold? And Shaq was like, I'm fucking with the heat. Goes to Orlando. Come on, bro.
Cause for suspicion. The accounting firm in charge of the lottery, Ernst & Whitney, was the auditing firm for Gulf and Western, who owned the Knicks. It was even an Ernst & Whitney employee who put the envelopes into the ball. So, why would Stern and the league care about this? With New York being one of the biggest market franchises.
Exactly, bro. Big market. They needed a star bad.
Television ratings. And the NBA just so happened to be working on a new TV deal at the time. At the time, Stern didn't even deny allegations, saying, if people want to say that it was fixed, fine. As long as they spell our name right, that means they're interested in us.
What? Yeah, like, I don't care if we got a rigged product, bro, as long as you're watching. Bro, what are you talking about?
Reflecting on the claims it was rigged, Ewing's agent David Falk said, I'm not saying it happened, and took a long dramatic pause before adding, but that theory is plausible. Rigged
it happened.
Or not, the NBA came out a winner, as Ewing quickly lifted the Knicks out of the Eastern Conference cellar and into consistent championship contention.
They're never going to let a big market be terrible. All right, so they said why MJ first retired. They're going to say because he was in gambling debt, bro. Already know they're going to say it's because he was in gambling debt.
Going out on top and retiring during one's prime, especially when it involves one of the most competitive.
He was in gambling debt and they were going to kill him.
In October of 1993, Michael Jordan shocked the sporting world by abruptly retiring from the NBA. He had just led his Bulls to 3 straight titles and was coming off winning an Olympic gold medal with the '92 Dream.
Or maybe I shouldn't say gambling debt. Maybe not debt, but he was like in trouble. Like he had been moving kind of funny, gambling and whatnot. That's what I think they're going to say.
In addition to passing on a chance to etch his name in NBA history,
Stern was a wild commissioner, bro.
MJ also chose to hang up his shoes after a season in which he averaged 32.6 points, 6.7 rebounds, and 5.5 assists per game. There's no debating Michael had plenty left in the tank, and just as much to play for. But at that time, Jordan cited a lack of desire to play the game, stemming from his father's death 3 months earlier. However, what some think actually happened was David Stern and MJ came to an agreement behind the scenes, where Jordan would serve a secret 1-year suspension because of gambling problems. What was not secret was that MJ was just as competitive.
Do y'all believe that? Like, so here's my argument against it. Like, yes, did he obviously have like a problem with gambling? Yeah, he did. He definitely had a problem with gambling. My whole thing is this, though. He's like the biggest star you have by far. You think Stern would rig a draft, but he wouldn't cover that shit up for Mike? You think he wouldn't make it to where Mike could still play? No, bro. Like I think if this was really true, I think so. His dad died at the same time. I think he was just depressed, couldn't process it, and knew his dad loved baseball. I don't really think like even if you like, I'm not even saying he didn't have a gambling issue. I'm just saying I think Stern would have looked out for his cash cow. That's all I'm saying.
Off the court with bets, as he was on it, except he didn't experience nearly the same level of success. Some of his absurd gambling losses have been well documented, like when a businessman wrote a book claiming Jordan owed him over $1.25 million from
he could have paid you that in 5 seconds, bro.
But Stern believed the NBA's image was so fragile and important at the time that having its star player being depicted as a degenerate gambler would severely hurt the league. So he told Michael to take a year to clean his act.
So you think it would severely hurt the league to have their star be a gambler, but it wouldn't hurt it to not have Michael Jordan for a year?
Before returning as a hero to save the Bulls. The Morris twins. At some point in everyone's
Oh,
life.
this one's gonna be good. I know you guys have been in the lunchroom or whatever in the locker room and had this discussion with each other. Like, bro, like you be sitting there talking and you say, I wonder if ever like one of the twins were like sick and just couldn't play that day. Like if the other twin just came out and played for him, or maybe Markieff was in a shooting slump. Marcus was like, bro, let me play. Because look at these two, bro. You would never be able to tell them apart. You would they got the same tattoos in the same spot. If they literally made sure their haircuts were the exact same, and you know they act the same, they're twin, you would never know. If they just swapped jerseys right now, you would have no clue which one's which.
They have met a pair of identical twins who they can't always tell apart. A pair of NBA twins may have used this to their advantage in the playoffs. In Game 1 of the 2017 Eastern Conference Semifinals, the Wizards' Markieff Morris suffered what appeared to be a severe ankle injury. He left the game and didn't return before miraculously recovering for Game 2, where he showed no signs of the injury, while putting up 16 points.
That's juicy. That's juicy. Because you know, bro, if you've ever been injured, hurt your ankle, and then 2 days later, see what happens. That bitch is going to swell up like a balloon, bro. No way he's playing 2 days later after a
26 minutes. It was the best Markieff had looked.
I don't know.
This left people wondering whether or not it was really Markieff out there, or if Marcus, whose season was already over with the Pistons, had stepped in acting as his brother. Similarities in their playing styles and jump shots are
That's the first one I believe. I believe that. I don't know if he done it in that game. I kind of think he did, but I feel like maybe in like a Tuesday game in December, they've definitely done that just to see if they could.
Almost as striking as their physical appearance. Although it's crazy.
Played 2 days after sprained ankle. My shit was swollen for a week. Exactly, bro. Exactly.
They did it one time while playing AAU basketball when they were kids.
They got a history of this shit. Of course, yeah, of course they did it.
Fouled out of a game, and then Marcus hurt his ankle, so they quickly swapped jerseys on the bench without anyone noticing. 2002 Western Conference Finals, Game 6.
Now, I'm not going to lie. So this one right here, I have heard this was rigged. I never knew the extent of how. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've heard people say, like, old heads be like, oh, yeah, that 02 Western Conference Finals was rigged. I never have heard the story until now. So if you haven't heard it either, you're about to hear it with me right now for the first time.
While fans routinely blame their favorite team's losses on the refs, sometimes there's enough to the story that even impartial fans find it to be foul play. Heading into Game 6 of the 2002 Western Conference Finals, the Kings held a 3-2 series lead over the Lakers. The Kings were 1 quarter of basketball away from heading to their first NBA Finals since 1951. With the game tied, the referees decided to delay Sacramento's return to the Finals at least another game. In the fourth quarter of Game 6, the Lakers shot 27 free throws compared to the Kings.
But that doesn't mean it was rigged because they have Shaq and Kobe. I mean, I'm gonna let them finish, but like I gotta pop that off. Like you just go, oh, they shot 27 free throws. Like, bro, it's Shaq and Kobe. Of course they shot a lot of free throws. You could probably pull that in games, in regular random ass games.
9, as LA went on to win by 4 points.
I hate that, by the way. Like whenever like two teams play a game and like it was obviously rigged, they shot 40 more free throws, and then you'll look at it and the team that shot 40 more free throws also took like 30 less threes, so they were getting to the rack. Just saying.
Particular moment
I'm just saying
sticks out where Kobe Bryant shoved and elbowed Mike Bibby, but a foul was called on Bibby, thus denying the Kings of a chance to tie the game. Although the free throw
discrepancy, did bro just say the refs are like you're sucking them off? What was that motion?
Foul was called on Bibby, thus denying the Kings of a chance to tie the game. Mike Bibby, foul was called
bro said y'all was just sucking them off, bro.
Thus denying the Kings of a chance to tie the game.
What is that?
Although the free throw discrepancy and that play were topics of conversation at the time.
What is he trying to say?
Although the free throw discrepancy was called on Bibby, thus denying the Kings of a chance.
I've never looked at a ref and been like, done that motion to my mouth 3 times. That's weird.
To tie the game. Although the free throw discrepancy and that play were topics of conversation at the time, it was nothing more than just talk. There was no hard evidence the game was rigged, so that the Lakers would win and force a Game 7. However, in 2008, that all changed when former NBA ref Tim Donaghy alleged in a court filing that 2 of the 3 officials from that game went out of their way to determine its outcome.
Oh, shit. That's tough. Yeah, no, that's tough.
He claimed the refs were
that's
instructed
tough.
by the league to prolong the series in any way necessary. Upon hearing Donaghy's allegations years later, Kings center Scott Pollard, who fouled out during Game 6, said, "My first thought was,
I didn't believe it," and then he goes, "Oh yeah, like by the way, like those refs were determining the outcome." I 100% believe it. Because why would he lie about that? Like maybe I need to go back and listen, but like for what purpose would he lie about that?
in any way necessary. Upon hearing Donaghy's allegations years later, Kings center Scott Pollard, who fouled out during Game 6, said, "My first thought was, I knew it. I'm not going to say there was a conspiracy. I just think something wasn't right. It was unfair. We didn't have a chance to win that game. The league's reason for forcing a Game 7 involved money, just like almost every decision they make. The TV revenue from the additional game, and also the chance that one of their biggest markets in LA returned to the finals.
That's
instead of
fair.
a small one like Sacramento.
Not gonna
worth
lie.
risking their reputation. The flu game. Although basketball fans
Yeah, he didn't have the flu. He was either A, drunk, or B, have food poisoning. I agree. He did not have the flu.
know exactly what game and performance those three words
That's what
refer
he's
to
gonna
may
say.
not be accurate. Game 5 of the 1997 NBA Finals involved one of the most iconic performances of all time by Michael Jordan. As the story goes, MJ led his team to a victory on the road over the Jazz. After having thrown up all night before the game and needing to be hooked up to IVs in the Bulls locker room, Jordan was so drained after Game 5 that
He was
couldn't even
drained,
speak to the
ayo.
media. Yet he still managed to play 44 minutes and score 38 points, including hitting the game-icing shot. While MJ was obviously very ill, it wasn't exactly clear what the cause was at the time. But then NBC sports broadcaster Marv Albert before the game reported Jordan was experiencing flu-like symptoms. So the name of the
Right, which I
story
mean,
took
food
off from there.
poisoning
In
or being
2013,
hungover
MJ's trainer
is
Tim
flu-like
Grover recounted what happened
symptoms.
the night before the game and confirmed a growing suspicion that it developed. Grover said Jordan had ordered a pizza late night before Game 5. He described how
Yeah, he
private
was drunk. He ordered a pizza to get over his hangover. I've done that. I've done that many times.
Gave him a bad feeling at the time about the situation. Grover confidently asserts that it was food poisoning, not the flu. In the Last Dance documentary, MJ had
I would argue though, who cares? Like, oh, like he still felt very bad. Like, who cares if it was the flu, food poisoning, or if he was viciously hungover? Who cares?
eating the pizza, implying it was food poisoning. But the question remains, was it intentionally done? Did some local Jazz fans take
That's why we
matters
care.
into their
Okay.
own hands and try to help their team win a title? It was well known where the Bulls were staying at the time.
If that's true, fam, game is game. Like, that's a good fan if you ask me. Like, he's trying to do his part to take out the other team's best player. I ain't even mad at it.
People showing up to deliver a pizza late at night is far from normal behavior. Chris Paul.
Okay, stop. You can't say, because like they're not delivering the pizza to Jimmy that is an electrician. Like, they know, like you just said, it's public information that that's Jordan's hotel. Like, you're telling me you work at Domino's in the 90s and a guy goes, "Hey bro, I'm about to deliver a pizza to Michael Jordan. Do you want to go with me?" The whole restaurant's going with you, bro. Like, so don't hit me with the, it's suspicious that 5 people were delivering a pizza. Like, bro, they're delivering it to Michael Jordan. It's weird if that many people showed up to your house.
Trade veto. In 2011, a trade was agreed to that would have paired one of the best all-time point guards.
I remember
with one of
this,
the
but
most
don't
feared
remember
scorers.
why
But
they didn't let it go through.
Potentially because of spite. The New Orleans Hornets and the Los Angeles Lakers agreed to a blockbuster deal centered on Chris Paul joining Kobe Bryant in the purple and gold, but David Stern ended up vetoing it. At the time, the league owned a majority stake in the Hornets, as the franchise sought out a new owner. Because of that, Stern technically did nothing wrong and had the right to veto a trade, but his reason for doing so might not have been ethical. While Stern claimed he was protecting the Hornets and had their best interests in mind, others viewed it to be a perfectly legitimate trade. The Hornets would have received plenty of talent in exchange for CP3.
Not gonna lie, it was a fair trade, bro. Like we've seen like superstar trades like that before. You can't say that Chris Paul trade wasn't fair if like in 08 you said the Kevin Garnett trade was fair. So like that's crazy.
Stern supposedly ran the trade package by an ex-general manager at the time who said that it would have been enough to make the Hornets a playoff team, having denied fans that
he ran it by the ex-Boston Celtics general manager. Asked him what did he think. Obviously he went out to like a Lakers hater for them to be like, oh yeah, this is too crazy of a trade.
Such a dynamic and exciting pairing in CP3 and Kobe in what seemed to be a fair trade. Stern and the league faced plenty of scrutiny. The theory is that Stern wanted the Hornets to appear more attractive and valuable to prospective buyers, so they needed a star player like CP3 on the roster.
Makes so much sense. I agree with I believe this one, chat. Do y'all believe this one? Not gonna lie, I believe this.
CP3 was then traded to the Clippers just a few days later. The Clippers deal included a first-round pick that was likely to be one of the first picks of the draft. This was something that Stern could use to sell potential buyers on. The pick ended up becoming the first overall selection, which was used on Anthony Davis.
Davis Stern is a dirtbag, ain't he?
2014 NBA Finals Game 1. Playing mind games with opponents.
Is this the air conditioned game?
In sports.
This is the air conditioned game, chat.
In Game 1 of the 2014 Finals between the Spurs and Heat, an electrical failure at the Spurs AT&T Center led to the air conditioner failing and the building reaching temperatures in the 90s. While this theoretically would impact both teams, one star player was more prone to feeling greater effects than anyone else. LeBron already had a well-documented history of cramping in big games. He first experienced this in the 2009 Eastern
LeBron was probably like, I already knew they were going to shut down the air conditioning units. I had a dream the night before I was going to be cramping. I drank some Pedialyte, but it didn't help.
Finals before suffering from it again in the 2012 finals. In 2012, the cramping got so bad.
Stretch that shit out, Bron.
Had to be carried off the court by Juwan Howard. He kept having to leave Game 1 against the Spurs due to cramping before eventually sitting out the final 4 minutes. Spurs players, on the other hand,
get that man some Pedialyte.
Said, felt like Europe. We never had AC in Europe, so it didn't bother me at all. Manu Ginobili added, I've played more years in situations like this than with AC on the court. Not a big deal in that case. So
I would argue, even if they did do that, like, I think he's about to ask, like, oh, do you think they actually tried to do it? Like, it's their building. Like, it's like they can do whatever they want. They can make it 20 degrees in there if they wanted to. It's their building. It's no different how in football the Miami Dolphins have their building set up so that around 1 o'clock the sun shines like directly on the other team. It's their building. They can do whatever they want.
Did the Spurs go out of their way to try to trigger another series of cramps for the King, knowing their players could handle it? Or did they just benefit from a random occurrence?
It doesn't matter.
They took full advantage of LeBron sitting out.
Either way, there's nothing wrong with it.
Game, going on a 16-3 run over that period to take a 1-0 series lead. The Heat's big three. What was meant to seem like a spontaneous decision made on national TV may have been the result of years of scheming by three friends. In 2010, when LeBron decided to take his talents to South Beach with his infamous nationally televised ESPN event labeled The Decision, his move to form a big three with Dwayne
that was so
Wade
corny. How they went out there and were just like bouncing around, and that was the most corny event in NBA history.
Like a surprise. In reality, though, it all began in 2004 when LeBron D.
Like, imagine being the rest of the team. Like, imagine being on the imagine you're Mario Chalmers and like you just gotta watch these three guys go up there and talk. Like, granted, like nobody wants to see Mario Chalmers sitting beside Dwayne Wade right here, but like just put yourself in that situation.
When LeBron, D. Wade, and Bosh
acting like it's a three-man show for real.
Team. The trio supposedly hit it off immediately and loved playing together, but they were under contract with 3 different NBA teams at the time, so it was nothing more than a summer fling. Then in 2006, the big three showed their cards some, as they all signed extensions for the exact same length with their respective teams. Once those contracts expired in 2010, they joined forces in Miami, forming a polarizing super team. While the group attempted to play it off as a coincidence, Knicks superfan Spike Lee wasn't buying it whatsoever. Lee said, "This is nothing but a pure Corleone gangster move. It was laid out."
Yeah, it was. They planned it. They absolutely planned it.
Look like idiots. They had the thing planned out 2 years ago. Cavs owner Dan Gilbert agreed with Spike and decided to look into tampering charges against the Heat and LeBron.
Well, chat, I'm not gonna lie. I agree with some of those. Like, some of those like conspiracies, a lot of them are crazy. I agree with a good amount of that. I agree with a good amount of what he just said. That's gonna do it for movie night, bro. Who's rocking with movie night? Is movie night a dub or what? And Dagger just hit us with a Galaxy. W Dagger, W Galaxy. I think that man enjoyed movie night. I think it was fun. It's a new addition to the channel. It's something new we're doing. I think it was a lot of fun.